Hello, everyone. Welcome to another bonus podcast episode mini kind of thing. Hey, we were lucky enough to get approved for media passes at Metro Comic Con recently, which was really, really cool. Unfortunately, we only got confirmed for the passes the day before, and sadly, by that point, I had already made other plans. But luckily, producer Pat, who you will know from the Pat and Mike episodes of this podcast feed, as well as the movie club episodes of this podcast feed, was on the scene, jumped at the opportunity to go to Metro Comic Con and suss it all out. There's some video footage of his time there on the Instagram page at TCB Pod, but also was lucky enough to nab a very brief interview with none other than Patrick Warburton. This was super exciting, and Pat did such a fantastic job, so I really wanted to feature Pat's interview here on this feed for you guys to hear. Was it like a really interesting situation, and just to offer a little bit more context on how this interview played out, because it was a brief 5-minute interview under like some interesting circumstances, and Pat didn't get the interview confirmed until about 5 minutes before the interview. So went in very blind to this and did such a great job. Thankfully, Pat joins me on the line now to talk about his experience at Metro Comic Con. Pat, welcome to the show.
Bazinga, good to talk to you, Mike, or whatever these nerds are saying these days. Metro Comic Con was definitely a fun experience, to say the least.
Yeah, so tell us about, obviously we're going to get to your interview with Patrick Warburton, but first, like, tell us about what was Metro Comic Con like? Like, what is there?
Yeah, little known fact, I used to be quite the frequenter of conventions back in the day. In fact, I may have even dabbled in cosplay, but that's a story for another day.
What did you cosplay as? What did you cosplay as?
Oh, what did I do? I did the Joker, I did Superman, I did Quicksilver from X-Men Days of Future Past. We'll have to dig up those awful cringy photos somewhere.
Yeah, because we'd love to post them on the TCB Pod Insta.
Ugh, oh boy. No, it was a really fun time. So if you've never been to a convention before, basically it's a big space for exhibitors, such as like independent artists and stalls to, showcase their items. Like, for example, every con has the artist alley, so there was a lot of like independent artists selling like little stickers and like doing commissions, like art pieces and stuff. There were some people selling like old comics, like even stuff that was graded. Like I think I saw one of like there was a superhero's like first appearance, and it was like I think I made like somewhere in like the 3 to 4 figure mark,
Oh wow!
And obviously, the pop culture community itself is definitely the biggest draw to these conventions. Like obviously, I can joke all I can, like, like Bazinga nerds, but like genuinely, I really do respect this community because, like this is the space, it's a safe space for everyone to put themselves out there, and like obviously the cosplay, everyone puts in a great amount of effort into their costumes. I saw some really great stuff over the weekend.
What do you reckon was
it was
the
a really,
best
it was a really cool space. There was a gaming space, Mike, there was a Smash tournament. You should have come and applied for that maybe next year.
What do you reckon was the best cosplay you saw?
Honestly, this might be a little spoiler for the interview coming up, but I saw a B-movie duo, which I thought was fantastic.
Okay, well let's pivot towards the interview. So, as I understand it, you were granted like very late access to Patrick Warburton. Of course, many of you will know him. I know him probably best as Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove, but obviously Joe Swanson from Family Guy. He was also in Seinfeld, which you talk about in the interview a bit. But you were able to get 5 very brief minutes with him in not, I guess, ideal interview circumstances. How did you go? Tell us about the interview.
Yeah, so it's funny, right? Because obviously we were given, the media passes a bit later than we expected. But went in, got the pass no problem. They had a little media room I got to go to. And I got to chat to the people, and we talked about figuring out the Patrick interview. And in the end, we were able to get it. Obviously, not as ideal as we'd want for a proper interview setting, but super thankful for the opportunity nonetheless. So after he was complete signing autographs, and he was walking over to his panel to do a Q&A. As we were walking, we did a little interview, and we had some questions. It's funny, right? I had probably 6 to 10 questions lined up, and in the moment, I wasn't sure which ones to pick, so I had the screen in front of me, and I just kind of picked some. There's probably some questions I should have asked over the others I asked.
No, you did a great job, Pat. You did an awesome job. So, yeah, just to paint this picture for the listeners, Pat had to do this interview last minute, not even knowing that he was going to be doing this interview, right? And then he had to do it in 5 minutes while walking alongside Patrick as Patrick moved from the autograph signing area to the panel area. So, I'm just picturing Patrick as a duck, and you how ducks have a trail of ducklings that just sort of waddle behind them. I'm kind of picturing you just waddling behind him, trying to catch up and ask him all these questions. But you did so well under the pressure.
Thank you, man. Yes, I was a duckling holding up my phone with the voice memo app and screenshots of the questions I'd asked that I had to flip upside down so they would face the microphone so I could read them.
So this is, this is the level of professionalism that we are working with here in Radio Mike Productions. We are so lucky we have Pat, who rises to the opportunity at the very last possible minute and gets us an interview with Patrick Warburton. Pat, anything else you want the listeners to know before we play the interview?
Oh, look, going into it, I thought I was going to be super nervous, and there's some parts you can definitely tell I'm a little ooh. But honestly, I think given the situation, it probably went as good as it could go. And obviously, big thank you to Metro Comic Con for not only having us, but giving us the opportunity. We're definitely keen to come back next year and chat to some more people.
And you know what,
and hopefully,
you know what, you say that obviously you were nervous, but I got to say, I'm so impressed with how you went, man. I'm in awe of the quality of what you brought to the table, and I'm super stoked that you were able to do this.
I appreciate that.
All right, well, shall we play the interview?
In the words, or not the words, but in the voice of Patty Warburton, bring it on.
Okay, here is producer Pat's interview with Patrick Warburton. We will have hopefully a photo. Did you get a photo with him?
I sure did.
We will put that on the TCB Pod Instagram page, and you can follow Pat at Pat70Show on Instagram. Give me the line again.
Wait, what did I say? I'll bring it on. Bring it on.
Okay, here it is.
Patty, love to meet you, mate.
Hey, how are you?
Not too bad, mate. Hey, first off, I just want to say, can we just both agree we both have the best name, hands down?
We do, although I was never a huge fan in the early days of my name.
Really?
Yes, I wanted something cooler like Han Solo or something like that.
We'd all dream.
Yeah.
We'd all dream. Patty, I won't keep you for too long, but I just got a few ones for you. First off, welcome to Australia, mate. Thank you so much for coming. Is this your first time down here?
Oh, it certainly is not. I was here when I was 24 with my father in Queensland scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef. That was a fantastic experience. And then one of the great experiences of my life was to be here back in 99 when we shot The Dish.
Oh, classic. How can we forget?
Right, and then I shot a Christmas horror film in Sydney about 7 or 8 years ago called Better Watch Out. So I love Australia. I love this country. I always felt like if ever I had to extradite my family from the United States, that perhaps we had an in here. Now, it's hard to get your citizenship in Australia, but I figured, being on The Dish and some things like that, I might have an in.
No, it's it. Love that. Look, you've got so many acting credits to your name, off the top of my head, or not on the list I totally don't have here. I can recall, Open Season, Kim Possible, Hoodwinked. I got to ask, what's the most obscure role you've been recognized for?
The most obscure role I've been recognized for. You're going to have to give me a moment on this.
No, what? There's been so many. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head,
But obscure would be something that you don't remember really yourself, and then.
Oh my God, the alien cop from Chicken Little.
Well, yeah, I guess it's just a line. You know, it was very short. Yes. I mean, I've done some obscure stuff that nobody's ever recognized me for. Yeah.
Yeah. There's probably like an obscene amount that like probably just it'll take too long to think of. Look, I couldn't talk to you without mentioning, I mean, Kronk, one of the most iconic characters in animation, if not one of the best. And it was really great to see him appear in Once Upon a Studio for the 100th anniversary of Walt Disney. It was a shame we didn't really get to hear him speak. So my question is, would you like to re-explore the character of Kronk?
Well, you know, we did The Emperor's New Groove, then we did Kronk's New Groove, and then we did Kronk's New School.
Yes.
So I feel like we did plenty with Kronk. So
no, fair enough.
Yeah, we might be done with Kronk.
Fair enough. Look, Kronk had his heyday. You know, what can you say? Another thing I had to throw out there. Now, I'm not sure if you've been forwarded or directed, but Joe Swanson from Family Guy has become a bit of a meme icon for Gen Z and millennials. Have you been exposed to any such material?
I have. It's always fun to see, you know, what's being done. But, you know, with, I guess, would it be, you know, memes and quotes and this and that. So, yeah, I've seen that there's been a lot for Joe and a lot for Ken from the Bee Movie.
I saw someone cosplaying as Ken today.
Oh, okay. That was a great experience. And, you know, I can look back at my career and I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to work with, you know, Seth MacFarlane and Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, especially.
Barry Sonnenfeld. You know.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
No, great line of talent there. And I'll leave you with this question and then I'll let you get to your panel. Now, everyone and their grandmother has had a crack at doing your voice, the absolute iconic voice of you. What's your advice to doing the pinnacle Patrick Warburton impression?
Well, I think you just kind of bring your voice back kind of deep down here. Don't be afraid to let your voice crack or go a little bit higher. And there's just something sort of sweet about, Kronk. Is when people do impressions of me, they seem to like to do sort of a Kronk impression, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know, Joe's a bit more officious like that. So Joe's, of course, still sounds like me, but he's just a little bit more, a little less character-y than, you know, say Kronk, who's a bit more all over the place.
Very true. Very true. Patrick, absolute pleasure to meet you, mate.
Cheers.
There you go. That was Producer Pat's interview with Patrick Warburton. Short but sweet, Pat, I think.
Short but sweet. Well said.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things in life are short but sweet. Name one.
This interview.
That's it, guys. Stay tuned to the feed for more content coming your way. Thanks so much, Pat.
No worries. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Metro Comic Con.
See you guys.